Boardroom, Chapter 10, Part B, 4109 BC. We have decided if you will not yield to our demands, we will all go and make new life on G1313, Christiana said. She was seated next to Gabe and Junior Junior had noticed her before. Her voice was clear and firm. What Junior didn't know was that she had noticed him also. She was the executive secretary for the entire angelic community. She is correct, Junior. We voted in a meeting and all are in agreement. It will be crowded, but things will be better than they are now. We're just slaves. You three have all the power. You say what goes at all times. We have no say. We just do as we are instructed. But we do love you, Bells said. We love you. You are our subjects, but you are also our friends. We can't exist without you. Junior knew what he meant to say. It did not come out right, but it was the best he could muster. No problem. Once we get out of the picture, just have Pops there make a new crop of slaves to do his bidding, Adlai said, his tiny black mustache twitching. No, you're not slaves. You're our subjects, but also our friends. Luke there, he and I are the closest of friends. Luke stared straight ahead at his best friend and said nothing. Scattered boos were heard, and they were intended for Luke. Some thought him a traitor for palling around with the enemy so much. Look at Pops there staring out the window. He won't even pay any attention to us slaves. The "We will walk" chant resumed in earnest again, but all were now getting weary of the whole scene and very hungry. This 1 hour meeting had dragged on for 3. Junior took a long drink of OJ as the WWW chant continued. The chanting seemed to revive Junior, and re-energized he now stood. I have a proposal for all of you, but I must ask you listen closely to what I have to say. When I finish, I will again hear arguments. The chant resumed, but Bells and some of the others finally quieted the throng of their unhappy friends. We consider you as equal in every way, but in order to have society and happiness, one must have some sort of order, or the society will come apart at the seams. Without design, there is ultimately nothing. Within your own angelic society, you have leaders and followers. Look across the table. Bells, Gabe, Adeline, Yulie, Luke, and Christiana, she said, a smile tugging at the corner of her shimmering lips. Luke was the only one in the crowd who caught this little band of electricity, but he most certainly did. Junior looked down at the table to avoid staring at the spectacular platinum blonde-haired beauty across the table from him. He then got up slowly, went to the wall, and picked one of the blazing torches that lit the room. He stamped out its fire, and with a charcoal end drew a line from one wall of the room to the other. The line separated him, Pops, in spirit from all the angels in the room. In this room were angels with proxy for the entire angelic community. He then threw the dead torch into the corner in disgust. He turned to the west and said sternly, "We all have everything we want, everything we need, fabulous homes, wonderful friends, and the entire universe to enjoy and explore. And it all comes from our dear and loving father and mother. Yet some of us still want more." A few scattered boos and WWWs and cries of freedom came from the irritated and intensely interested crowd. Bells put his arms up again, and all was soon quiet. Father has told us that without order no one will be happy, but some of you, apparently many of you, are not in agreement. You want more. I am here to tell you there is no more. Nothing can be better than perfect peace and happiness. We have it all. Again there was a smattering of applause, and a few cries of freedom were heard. Bells again raised his arms, and all were again silent. Junior went on. He can't, nor will we tell you what to do, but he requires you complete loyalty. If he does not have it, he has no peace, no happiness, and our universe will come to an end. There will be nothing, nothingness. Junior didn't know where all these words were coming from, but surmised incorrectly that they were planted in his brain by his father. Pop must have a commitment here and now. Isn't that right, Pop? His father nodded in the affirmative. You would be loyal to your father, your creator. You must recommit to him here and now and never question his authority again. If you want to have your perfect life in your perfect universe, then stand and follow me. With that, Junior looked to the west and pointed at the charcoal line he had just drawn. All groups and families in the angelic realm were represented here. Bells now stood and said, "And what if we don't cross that line? Pop will honor your wish and leave you to 1313. Can we? No, this decision is final. The universe will go on without your help." The silence screamed through the hall. The angelic senate, if you will, had not been prepared for such an ultimatum. Bells and some of the others at the head of the table began to whisper among themselves, but they could not come to any sort of unified consensus as to what to say or what to do. Everyone wished somebody would do or say something, anything, but Junior did not help them out. He just stared down at the charcoal line in front of him. After a full 15 minutes, Junior looked up. Bells thought he had been praying, but realized that unlike himself, Junior had no one to pray to. He was it. When things went bad and everyone knew things were going really bad this day, Junior and Pops in spirit had no one to turn to. A collective gasp broke the unbearable silence as Bells stood. Took a couple of strides around the table toward the line, but Ad and Yulie grabbed at his coat. Bells did not pull away. "We can do this. They're about to cave. Here is our list of concessions. Take it to him. But whatever you do, don't cross that line." The words were deliberate and firm. Bells took the paper he had helped draft and strode to the line. He reached across it and handed the paper to Junior. Junior read it slowly and deliberately. It took him several minutes. Whispers danced quietly through the crowd. Junior finished reading it and then strode deliberately over to another torch, lit the paper with it, and burned it to the ash. The ash fell on the west side of the line. He then turned and said, "Again, we have given you all there is. We must have your complete loyalty. A house divided against itself cannot stand." Junior continued to stare at Bells. By this time, Bells had retreated back to the west end of the table and continued to confer with his buddies. Bells momentarily returned to the line and lifted his left foot in the air as if to step over it, but began to quiver. He couldn't make himself do it. He took a step back and stared at the ground, tears welling in his eyes. He loved Pop, but wanted his freedom even more. Why couldn't he have both? Christiana came up and put her wing around him. Junior noticed this, but remained resolute. His face was as stone, but his heart was being violently ripped apart. Junior had to stare down at his line to maintain his composure. Also tearing at his cordy tenony was the realization that he suddenly had feelings for one Christiana. Suddenly, Junior noticed two new feet standing directly across from his on the other side of the charcoal line. His gaze leveled to meet the tear-filled electric blue eyes of his dear friend Gabe. Gabe slowly stretched out his hand to Junior over the line and said in a voice cracking with emotion, "Junior, please help me." Junior took Gabe's huge hand firmly in his and beckoned his brother Gabe. "I am your brother," Junior said. Gabe put first his left foot and then his right across the line, and the two hugged for what seemed an eternity.